cracked lobster, cracked chicken, cracked tongue. What about cracked sheep tongue? I know us Bahamians love our sheep tongue sauce, but did you know that there are tons of ways that you can prepare the very exotic dish? Well, today Chef Alexandra's in the kitchen and she's going to be whipping up a cracked sheep tongue with a mango mint aioli. Welcome back to Chef It Up, everyone. This season, we are clearly going insane with our dishes, okay? We went from baked grits to now we have cracked sheep tongue. Welcome back to my kitchen, Chef Alexandra.
I'm very excited.
You really go there with your meals, okay? How did we get to cracking our sheep tongue?
Oh, that's a long story. But basically, one of my team members from Bahamas was complaining that the sheep tongue was so boring.
Really?
Oh, all I ever do is eat sheep tongue sauce. And I said, but you don't have to. You know, there's so many different ways of making sheep tongue. She said, that's not true, Alexandra. I said, are you challenging me? And she said, yes, I'm challenging you. And so I gave her the 10 different ways of doing sheep tongue challenge. And you were actually at that event.
That was about 2 years ago or so. And Chef Alexandra prepared sheep tongue literally 10 different ways. It was like traveling the world just through sheep tongue, right?
We always try to do something that is very, very different whenever we go to a festival. And so I said, let me do the cracked one because we like fried, especially when we're on the go at an event like that.
All right, so let's get started. How do we get now to cracking the sheep tongue?
Okay, so we take our raw sheep tongue because you know that everybody knows what a sheep tongue looks like. I hope.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
do you know I've never seen it whole like this?
Really?
I have never. Oh my goodness! You guys want to see?
So delicious.
This is weird.
No.
So this is the raw sheep
that's
tongue.
That's a raw sheep tongue. And can you pass me the marinade? For the interest of time, I went ahead and I marinated it. Okay. So I marinated it in lime juice, a little bit of allspice, salt and pepper. I love marinated meat, especially lamb. Okay. Lamb has a very, very like gamey flavor, and you need to soak it. Soak it.
So how long was this marinating for?
Well, this one wasn't because I only got it yesterday, but it should be at least 2 days.
Wow, 2 days, just to sit.
Just sitting.
Okay.
Marinating in salt, pepper, and all of those things.
Okay.
And once you have it like this, it can still be pretty boring when you taste it, and it's a little bit too rough for me.
Okay.
So I make sure that the broth that I poach it in, or that I boil it in, sorry, it's not poaching, that's for sure, is well seasoned.
Okay.
So we're gonna season it with a bit of onion that we've already chopped up.
Okay. So you want me to pour this in there?
You can
all of
pour
it?
In there, you could.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna adjust this depending on how many tongue you have to cook.
Okay, good.
Okay, we don't have that many today, but a little bit of garlic. Put the whole garlic in there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Throw the whole thing in?
Yeah, put it all in.
Just one?
You could put more than one.
Okay.
But save us some for our aioli.
Got you.
Okay, parsley.
Okay. So we're gonna chop these up or just throw them in?
Just put them all in.
All right. So we're just preparing our boil now for our sheep tongue, and in there, some water, some parsley,
bit of bay leaf,
some bay leaf, garlic, and onions.
Yes.
More or all?
No, that's good enough.
Okay, good.
You don't need it to be more spicy than that.
Okay.
Salt and pepper.
Okay. How much salt? How much pepper?
Be very generous.
Okay.
You need it to taste well seasoned.
Okay, good.
Otherwise, it can be a very bland dish.
So that's a good hint, you guys, to make sure that you, in the water that you boil it in, make sure it's seasoned, right?
That's right. And then I'm just going to put in a few green onions that I ripped up.
Okay, good. All right.
I was so excited when I started cooking with my Haitian friends to realize how much, that's good enough for the salt, how much they use green onions in there. That's right.
Yeah,
it's very, very important.
Last time you said we don't really use it as much as we should, right?
We should, because it's very, very, it adds to the flavor of any dish. So we're going to let this boil now.
All right, perfect.
While we do this, and we let this, we want this to come to a boil and really start to smell good before we do anything else, before we add the tongue.
It smells healthy. I don't know if that makes sense, but it smells real green and, you know, real earthy.
Right.
So what next?
So what we're going to do is while we're waiting for that to boil, we can go ahead and get our mint aioli done.
Oh, perfect. Okay, we're ready to get into the second part of our dish.
Well, we're not really.
No?
What we're going to do is we're getting ready for it, but we don't want to sit here and wait for that to happen.
So where do we go?
Okay, so we have our mango.
Those smell really good.
These are not fresh mangoes but they are fresh frozen mangoes.
Okay.
From our mango farm. Every season we take our mangoes and chop them up and freeze them, and so that the hurricane, who has now destroyed all our mango trees, we still have mango stock.
Okay, good.
But you know, I don't like using canned mango or anything else. This is still not the perfect way to do it, but frozen is good enough for this one right now. So you're going to add a little bit of mint leaf to that.
Okay. Do I chop these up or just throw them in?
You can we're going to blend this in the blender.
Okay.
Yes.
So just throw them in?
You can just throw them in, that's right.
Okay, perfect.
And a little bit of garlic, which you might just want to chop a little bit of.
Yeah. All right.
I'm showing you the basic ingredient for it.
And so this aioli then is just going to be like the sauce that we're going to accompany.
This is the sauce, the dipping. We all like to dip stuff.
Yeah. No ketchup on this crack.
No, and I like ketchup.
Me too.
So I'm one of the bad chefs. But what I did with this was a challenge that I had to use everything that was grown locally. Okay, now the garlic's cheat because I still love garlic no matter what, and I wish there was a farmer who grew it. But everything else is Bahamian grown, okay?
That's great.
That's very important to me, especially in the fact that I feel like we have to make sure that we're sustainable going forward. And it's important that chefs learn to use what we have available to us.
Okay, so what are we using?
So put it in your bowl and lime juice.
All right. Where's our lime juice?
Lime juice, yes.
All of it?
You could put all of it.
And you said usually you let this sit for about 2 days or so, right?
Yes.
So some lime juice.
Salt and pepper. You have them over there.
All right, I have some pepper here.
Yes.
That's good enough?
That's good enough.
All right. And some salt.
Some salt. Okay. And then a little bit of allspice that we have in here from the one that was marinated.
So you want me to?
Yes, just take it out a little.
Okay, perfect.
Mix that all.
Throw the whole thing?
Up. Could do.
Okay. All right, so usually you let your sheep tongue sit for 2 days, right? So in this bowl again, just some lime juice, some black pepper, some salt, some allspice, and you let that sit for a while.
That's right.
All right, you guys, this is Chef It Up. We'll be right back with some cracked sheep tongue. Welcome back to Chef It Up, everyone. Still in the kitchen with Chef Alexandra, and we're whipping up our cracked sheep tongue. Before we went to break, we just got our pot going so we can boil down our sheep tongue, right? And in here we just put some parsley, some garlic, some onions. What else we put in there? Some bay leaves.
Green onions.
Green onions.
And the black pepper. Now we added allspice.
And some allspice,
We added a little bit of allspice, not to turn it into a sauce, but just for that hint of the Caribbean.
Perfect.
This is actually a Middle Eastern technique for dealing with sheep tongue.
Okay.
And what they do is they boil it up without the allspice. So everything else is very Middle Eastern, but you could see that it's still us.
It's kind of like South still,
That's right. And that gives it the flavor. Now, in the Middle East, what they do with it is that they take it after they've done all of the boiling and the skinning. They will take it and they will roast it.
Okay.
Either on a grill or on an open flame skewered, or else they turn it into a salad, a cold salad. And that would be done with parsley and green onions and garlic and olive oil and lemon, which I love.
Nice.
Okay, I love that because
did we have that dish that day?
We did have that dish that day.
I remember.
Yes, we did.
I remember. All right.
We also had a Peruvian way of doing it, which is similar to the Bahamian smother sauce, and then they eat it in pita pockets, which I love that as well.
All right, nice. So you guys, you can see a million different ways to prepare sheep tongue. Today we're cracking it. It's time now to put this in.
Put it in. Put both of them in. Yes.
So we're gonna put this in our boil right here, so these can boil down. All right, and how long do we keep them in there for?
This is always the big question. It's going to boil for at least 2 hours.
Okay.
Now, some people like it softer than I do. I don't like it very, very soft. I like it hard.
So you let it stay in for about an hour, maybe?
No, I let it go for the 2, but not anything longer than that.
Okay.
You know, and you do have to keep tasting it. to know whether it's or pricking it and just to know
to see the texture.
That's right, to see what the texture is.
Perfect. All right, so we'll let that sit for a while.
Let that sit. Let me get this out of here.
Perfect.
And then we need to go back to our.
And in the meantime, you guys, we're going to be whipping up our very delicious smelling mango mint aioli.
Can we get the big bowl? Because I
Perfect.
have some.
All right. So where do we start?
Well, let's put that in the bigger bowl.
But we already started. We have some mangoes in here. Right. Mango, green onions, and some mint. So I'm just gonna toss this in a bigger bowl for you.
Right. And you have the garlic in there already.
And a little bit of garlic as well.
And goat pepper. So we will need to chop that goat pepper.
Oh boy, here we go.
I like goat pepper, so make it spicy, Antha, for me, please.
All right. You love your goat pepper.
I love pepper. Pepper makes you happy.
Does it?
Yes. Yes.
And would you only recommend using goat pepper in this dish?
No, not at all. But because this was a dish that, like I told you, that I had done for showcasing things that were grown in the Bahamas, I use goat pepper.
All right.
Now, I was telling you about the herbs that we had from Holy Farms. Teresa also grows jalapenos sometimes for me.
Awesome.
But mostly it's the goat pepper.
All right. So we're going to be blending this, so I don't have to go too small
you don't
with
have
these,
to go too
right?
Small. No,
all right.
not at all.
Okay. Goat
Make sure
pepper.
you rinse your hands.
I have to.
You're not as hardy as I
don't want to
am
forget. I don't want to forget to wash my hands. No. Okay, so in here, just real quickly again, mint leaves, some garlic, goat pepper, mango.
Sugar.
Sugar. All right.
And I love sugar in terms of making sure. Yeah.
Okay. Oops, getting the sugar out. Okay. What else after the sugar?
Lime juice.
Some lime juice. The whole thing? Or just a tad?
No, not for this amount.
Tell me when to stop.
Keep going, keep going. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So Alexandra, how is it catering in the Bahamas? Do a lot of people use catering services, or do they like to cook their own foods? Or do they not want to deal with the food at all and call you guys?
Mostly people call us for events that they don't want to handle.
Yeah.
Or if they feel like they want something that's just so exotic that it's not their usual food. Catering's been good over the years. It's very hard work. It's no joke.
I can tell.
It's no joke. A lot of people come up to me and say, "I'm going to do a catering business," and I'm like, "Yeah, make sure you can stay in the kitchen all night and all day and all night and all day." Yes. It's very hard work, but it's so much fun, and it allows you to have access to foods that you wouldn't have otherwise. And I've had a great time cooking over the years. I love it, and I love watching people cook, with me like this, and also eat foods that they might not have ever bothered to try.
Nice. Do you do classes, or you don't teach anyone your secrets?
No, of course, there's no such thing. I have done classes, but only for charity.
Okay.
Where charities have sold me off. Yes.
Well, that's a good thing to bid on and win. Yeah. All right. So our mango mint aioli is going here, and what we're gonna do now, we're gonna blend this a little bit later, right? So tell me what's going on with our sheep tongue
right now. Our sheep tongue is poaching. Well, I keep using that expression. This is not poaching. It's going to boil for hours until it gets tender enough to skin easily. And once it gets skinned again, then you have the option of marinating it again, but this one doesn't need it. Okay. But if you wanted to do that, that's fine as well. Okay. So.
All right. So what are some of your most favorite dishes? I know you like to talk about favorite dishes, but your top 2 Alexandra dishes
that I cook myself.
Yeah.
Over the years, we do a dish called sesame shrimp toast. I like I told you, I told the producer earlier that I was supposed to be a lawyer, not a cook.
Really?
Yeah, so I was in school in England studying politics.
Wow.
Because that's actually my degree is in politics, not in culinary training.
Do you think this is something that we can see on Bahamian recipes or Bahamian menus, cracked sheep tongue?
I hope so. I love the trend that is happening. It took us a long time to get to the point where we didn't feel un-Bahamian anymore to eat food that wasn't super traditional. When 2 years ago for Rum Bahamas, we explored the culinary heritage of the Bahamas. And we found 11 different cuisines that have actually influenced us.
Okay.
So the word traditional is too tight. It doesn't need to be.
It boxes us in,
It boxes
right?
us
Yeah.
in, you know, because there's been a lot of influences that have come in over the years that we've owned, and now we think they're ours. We act like macaroni and cheese isn't an import from the South.
Yeah.
You know, which it is.
Interesting.
So it's not really traditional, and some of the old people's food is being lost. That's my next goal, to teach myself how they used to cook.
Interesting. All right, Chef Alexandra, do a little history lesson there for you guys as our sheep tongue just boils down here. We're gonna toss it to a quick break, and during that time, we're going to blend our mango mint aioli. Stay with us. This is Chef It Up. Welcome back to Chef It Up, everyone. We're still making a very exotic cracked sheep tongue with Chef Alexandra. And during the break, what we did was we just blended together our mango mint aioli. Yes. And in this, just to remind you guys, mint leaves, some mangoes, you put a little bit of garlic in there. What else is in here?
Goat pepper.
Goat pepper.
Green onions.
Green onions.
Lime juice.
Lime juice.
Sugar.
Sugar. And we just blended that all together.
And then we blended it with olive oil.
With olive oil,
yes.
right. All right, so we're just gonna toss this in the fridge for a bit. All right.
Yes.
And so, while this cools down,
we're going
to prepare our sheep tongue.
Yes.
So what are we gonna do? We're gonna skin it now?
So our sheep tongue is ready.
See, I've never been privy to this part of the sheep tongue.
It's not overcooked because you don't want it mushy either.
Okay.
If the flesh is too soft, it can be unattractive in your mouth.
All right, so how do we skin the sheep tongue?
Take your knife and put it down the middle and just peel it back, basically.
Okay.
Like that, and it comes off pretty easily. You don't want, if it comes off too easily, it's overdone.
Yeah,
okay. you do have to work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
Most of the time people buy it processed, but you know, I really don't. I don't care for the processed meat. I find it too soft. Now, for the sake of this presentation, I split it down the middle. If I could get it to lie flat.
This is intriguing. I've never seen sheep tongue prepared for anything before. I just eat it all the time.
Right. And now we're going to flour, egg, and breadcrumb this.
Okay.
Okay, because we want to fry it. Now you could fry it just in flour, but I like the contrast of texture.
Okay.
Not, you know, I like the breadcrumb crunch, but you can do any other kind of crumbs that you want.
Perfect. So I got some breadcrumbs, some eggs. You got the flour over there.
Right here, this little plate.
Okay.
Flour first, then put your egg wash there.
Flour.
Yes.
Perfect. So
now I don't
put a little.
Yes. No. Put a nice pile. Yes. You can put it out.
Okay.
Right. Just put your egg wash and then your breadcrumbs.
Really?
No, you don't have to spill it.
Okay.
Right.
And then
your breadcrumbs spilled.
Just the crumbs.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll give you another plate to put it.
And so this is just the battering process.
This is just the battering. So you're going to flour it.
Flour it.
Yes, make sure it's well coated in flour. Now you can season the flour, like I told you before.
Yeah, some people season.
But you don't want to overpower the sheep tongue so much. And this is something you adapt to yourself. You know, if you like it, if you like to taste less of the sheep tongue, you're going to do more to what you're doing to it.
Yeah. And then dip this in there?
You're going to dip it in the egg.
Okay.
Which you can also season with garlic and parsley.
This
if
is
you want,
really
let it drip off a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and then roll it in the breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Make sure it's well coated.
This is the fun part.
Yeah.
All right. This is awesome. Is that good enough? Mm-hmm. All right, so there you have it. Our battered sheep tongue, you guys. We're going to just do a couple of more of these, you guys. This is Chef It Up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Chef It Up, everyone. I am officially hungry, okay? Our battered sheep tongue now is ready to go into the oil to fry down.
Yes.
I'm excited. Let's get this show on the road. All right, and as Alexandra puts them in, you guys, we boiled our sheep tongue a little earlier. Well, we marinated it first, boiled them down, and then we battered them. And so now she's just gonna fry them down as you would some fritters or some kung
fried
or something,
chicken,
fried chicken, fried shrimp.
Yes, and these are not cooking.
Okay.
So we don't need them to be in there forever and ever.
So how long would you suggest?
Just as long as they turn golden.
Okay, perfect.
Okay? You don't need them to be. They're not raw in any way. They just need to be made crispy and
this is so amazing
golden.
to see the sheep tongue being prepared, you know, in another way. And of course, in the front here we have our mango mint aioli that we made a little earlier. Just some fresh mangoes, some mint, some lime juice, some sugar, goat pepper,
green
onions, and some garlic.
And
blended that all together.
Right.
And here we go with our little dipping sauce that we're going to make. So these are just going to get golden brown as they boil down. Thank you so much for this dish. I ain't even tasted yet, but I just know this is going to be amazing.
Let's see how they're looking. They're almost there.
Oh, pretty good. And unlike conch and everything else where you can get like small chunks of bite, these are like big chunks of sheep tongue.
Yes.
So there's no skimping here.
Right.
Perfect. All right. And so for anyone wanting to make this dish, would you suggest them starting like the day before? How soon should they start?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you can start several days in advance.
Okay.
This is perfect festival kind of food.
Okay, good.
Because it doesn't require anything to be done on the day except the last minute frying.
Frying them down.
That's right.
Okay, so you can actually prepare everything.
You can prepare everything
well in advance.
Yes.
Awesome.
And that's with any sheep tongue dish. That's the beauty. It's a very forgiving meat.
Yeah, it's not like the chicken and the fishes that will spoil or go bad so easily,
It takes a lot to make this overcooked unless it's just too soft.
All right. And so here we go now, frying these down. Oh, that's perfect. Good.
Right. While we plate
And
up,
just like that,
I'll just add these in.
we have some cracked sheep tongue.
Yes.
This is an amazing dish. So, I want to just start prepping these. Okay, good. I'm super excited to try this. I don't know if I'm going to try this at home. This is a little intimidating to try alone at home, I think. But, you know, if Chef Alexandra is making it, are we going to see this at Rum Bahamas? Or you can't tell me?
Not from me.
Not from you?
No.
Not from you.
No,
Okay.
I have to be a little more exotic
I
than
know.
that.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
I've done this before at International Cultural Festival.
I missed that one.
So Rum Bahamas, I try to do
Just
things.
do something a little differently?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Try to.
All right, perfect.
Depends on how crazy I am before.
Well, let me just grab some forks for us so we can taste. All right.
I think that the message that I would like to get across is that you can have fun with what we already have.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's not disloyal to South if you make something up, because we
Say it again.
We feel disloyal to our native dishes if we even think about making a variation. So sometimes it hampers our young chefs, and that's not a.
For them to think that if they see sheep tongue, the only thing they could make is a souse. But ask Alexandra, she can tell you 20 other different ways that she can prepare it. But that's true. A lot of Bahamians are very loyal to what they know, and they just want to make it that way only. So
that's right. Almost ready. Almost ready.
I'm ready to dip in and dig in.
Ready to roll on that. So this is good enough.
All right.
We'll use this one. That's a little bit white. I like it a little more.
So could we just taste as we fry down those ones?
Yes, of course you could.
All right. Are you gonna eat with me, or should I go alone?
It's all yours.
So what should I expect from the flavors now? Guys, the moment of truth.
Oh dear.
I love the crunch on the outside. Look at that on the inside.
It's still very gamey, no matter what. It's not going to go away totally.
I love sheep tongue though, so
okay,
that's fine.
That's good.
Okay. Okay, that is amazing.
Wow.
I see what you say about it being gamey.
It's
the
still
crunch,
sheep-tonguey.
The crunch on the outside is perfect. And once you bite down on that a few times, and then you get to the taste of the sheep tongue that you're used to, it's like, I know this dish.
Yes.
The mint and the mango on top of it, absolutely amazing. Chef Alexandra, you are a pioneer in your field. All of your dishes are always so authentic. They're always so unique. And I'm eating cracked sheep tongue. You guys, Thank you so much for bringing this dish to
you,
chef it up.
Thank you.
Guys, try this dish at home. Find Alexandra, call her up, hit her up, have her cater your events. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks, this is good.